Evening, everyone. If I can just get a confirmation in the chat that you can hear me. Great, excellent. Got it right the first time. Appreciate all of y'all who reached out. Uh, Everything is fine now. I appreciate it. And looking forward to getting back to a semi-normal schedule today and tomorrow. Today we're just going to touch on calculations. Tomorrow we're going to do biostats and hopefully get to a bunch of practice questions. And then next week, Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to do TB and thyroid medications. Hopefully, you should have a robust presentation along with practice questions. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I am Chicago DLS Inc., and I do Naplex and MPJE tutoring. One-on-one is available as well as group sessions. And uh, for these presentations, please hold your questions until the end. And today we're going to get right into questions, breaking them down. I haven't figured out how to write on the PowerPoint, so we're going to be switching windows, so bear with me as we work through these questions. Genesis fam, Autumn, welcome. Wad, Vicky, Melissa, welcome. And Suspicious Bunch and Nikki, welcome also. I just wanted to say thanks to Suspicious Bunch and Pharma Turtles for setting all of this up and looking forward to answering any questions or concerns that you may have. All right, so let's get started. We're going to get started with a practice question. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the question, and you're welcome to attempt it. And then we'll go over each one of these questions and understanding why and how. Calculations are area 4, and um, some students will struggle with calculations, some just need a touch up, and some have put in the work and are comfortable with this concept. So when I'm done reading the question, you can put the answer in the chat. And if you're not sure, do not worry. I'm going to break down this question like a butcher breaks down an animal, and we will learn today together. So practice question 1 is going to be GP is a 38-year-old, 72-kilogram male who was recently diagnosed with COVID-19. He was mostly asymptomatic when he developed sudden onset shortness of breath when he presented to the emergency department. A CT scan showed acute bilateral pulmonary emboli. His vitals on presentation were BP 118/74, respiratory rate 16 breaths per minute, and a heart rate of 110. The providers elected to start him on a therapeutic 18 unit per kilogram per hour IV heparin drip. Your hospital stocks heparin as a 25,000 unit in 500 ml of 1/2 normal saline premix bag. At what rate in mil per minute should he be started on? Tara, welcome. So I'll give everyone a chance to kind of attempt it. And once again, if you're not sure, do not be stressed. I am going to break this problem down very shortly. Okay, starting to see some answers. And as you're working on these calculations, just remember Now is the time to go slow. And as you become more familiar with what formulas to use and how to approach these problems, you'll start to get faster. Right. All right, so I have three answers. And the good news is all three of you are correct. So I'm going to, oh, four answers. One, two, three, four. Very, very good. And Vicky, good job in making that correction. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing this and I'm going to share the screen so I can type. All right, can everyone see the paint screen or the blank tablet? Good. So our question here is going to be, it's asking mils per minute. So we're going to start with, can everyone see the writing? We're going to start with 18 unit per kg per hour. And once we do that, we're going to multiply it by their weight, which is 72 kilograms. This is going to give us 1,296 units per hour. And if you've noticed, the kilograms have canceled out. Next, we're going to do 1,296 units per hour, and we're going to divide it by 60 minutes per hour. And that's going to give us 21.6 units per minute. Okay. And next, and please excuse my handwriting, my apologies. Next, we have heparin, which is available in 25,000 units in 500 ml of half normal saline. And that's going to equal 50 units per milliliter. All right. And last but not least, we're going to take the 21 units, 21.6 units per minute, and we're going to divide this by 50 units per ml. Mercedes, welcome. And after you divide this, you will get 0.432 ml per minute. Now, I would like all of you to know that the Naplex will tell you how to round. Okay? And they'll tell you round to the nearest tenth, the whole number, and make sure that you follow those. It may even tell you for a multi-step problem what to round at every step. Mercedes, I'm sharing a screen where I'm working the calculation problem, and It may help if you refresh Discord and see if it loads for you. I think I was having that problem with my mic every time. Whenever I would refresh, it would mute it, so I just had to figure that out. Hopefully the video works for you. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about the first practice question? If you're new, I always recommend that take notes, Peacock welcome. Make sure you take your notes now, and after our session, review them. Whether you do that tonight or whether you do that tomorrow, and that will fill any gaps in your knowledge base and also prepare you for the actual test in the future. Okay, everyone seems to feel comfortable, or the explanation shows what they did differently. Just let me know in the chat. Good, very good. And remember, if you think of a question later, you can ask then, or you can send me a DM as well. Great. Now let's go to the next question. And the next question is going to be TB is a 40-year-old female presenting to your ED with no pulse. Using ACLS measures, the team was able to achieve return of spontaneous circulation, and a norepinephrine drip was initiated after initial resuscitation fluids. The drip was titrated up to 40 micrograms per minute, and TB's BP 5 minutes later was 90/54 with a mean arterial pressure of 66. The team decides to continue this rate to achieve a mean arterial pressure goal greater than 65. Assuming a 16 milligram over 250 ml bag of norepinephrine is used and a steady administration rate of 40 micrograms per minute is infused, how long will the bag last? Provide answer in hours and minutes. So go ahead and work on that. I'll leave it up on the screen. And when we have a couple answers, I will switch over. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens. Okay, good. So This one is going to be, we have to convert 40 micrograms per minute into milligrams per minute. Okay? And when we do the conversion, we're going to get 0.04. And if you're asking how I did the conversion, I did 40 divided by 1000 because micrograms is 1000 per. Next, we'll find the drip rate. We'll set up our proportion or C1V1 in 0.04 mg per 1 minute is equal to 16 mgs over X minutes. And we will cross multiply to get 0.04x is equal to 16. We'll divide both sides by 0.04, which will give us 400 minutes. And the answer they're looking for is an hour in minutes. So we will divide this by 60 and you will get 6 hours and 40 minutes. All right, Vicky Lee with an answer. Great job. Now I know everyone does calculations at a different speed. Wad, I see the answer. Great job. If you are still working on it, my apologies. Feel free to confirm that you got the correct answer as well. Did anyone have any questions? All right, so we'll go on to the next one. Practice question 3. Okay, so you are a hospital pharmacist responsible for making TPN formulations at your hospital. You currently have D5W and D70W stock solutions available. D50W is typically used to compound TPN orders, but it's back order and compounding and all that good stuff. You need to make enough to supply the need for the day, totaling up to 6,800 kilocal of D50W. How much of the D5W and D70 solutions do you need to mix to prepare the day's supply? Now, this is multiple choice, but you will need to do the math in order to get the correct answer. So I will leave this up on the screen for a couple minutes and and then I will break it down. We'll go ahead and Switch streams. Okay. Just confirming everyone can see the screen. So our first step is going to be converting dextrose. And we know that dextrose is going to be 3.4 kilocals per gram. And because we need 6,800 kilocal, we're going to divide these two, and we're going to get 2,000 grams of dextrose. Now you may be asking, what are we going to do with the 2,000 grams of dextrose? And we're going to, in D50W, which means that because it's 50 grams per 100 ml, we need to know how many ml is 2,000 grams. So we'll set up the proportion 2,000 grams over x ml equals 50 grams over 100 ml. And after cross multiplying, we'll have 4,000 ml as our total volume. Okay? So now that we have this total volume, we're going to use alligation. Now you may ask, how do we know that this is an alligation problem? Anytime you have two different concentrations, that's usually a good indication that you're going to need alligation. So you have 70% and we have 5%. And the way we're setting this up is we're using the two percentages that we have in order to, if you can see the cursor, we're using the two concentrations that we have to set up to get the concentration that we need. Okay? Then what you're going to do is go across and subtract. So we're going to do 70 minus 50 to get 20. And we're going to do 50 minus 5 to get 45. These we will add together to get 65. And our total volume is going to be, not ml, it's going to be 4,000 ml. All right, good. Now we're going to do our proportions, and we're going to do 45 over 65. 45 is the part and 65 is the whole. We're going back to fractions. Equals x over 4,000. You'll set up the same for 20 over 65 equals x over 4,000. Now, this represents the 70%, and this represents the 5%. And when you do the cross multiplication, you will get 2,769 ml for D70W. And here you'll do 1,231 ml of D5W. And by combining these two quantities, you will get the D50W equivalent that you're looking for. Excuse me. So If you recall the answer choices, it's C. I'll share the screen one more time. Did anyone have any questions or concerns about this problem? Cami, welcome. You can't see the screen. Can anyone else not see the screen? What you may try doing, Cami, is refreshing the Discord, and it should pop up. Okay, Wad, can you see the writing on the whiteboard? Good. Okay. Before I go back to the question, oh, Genesis has a great question. How I knew to use allegations. Anytime you have two different concentrations and you need to make a third concentration, allegation is usually the way to go. All right. So let us continue. You're welcome. And so once again, the answer choice was C. That was correct. And I just wanted to put that up on the screen for you so you may see it. Going on to practice question 4. CF is a 42-year-old female who is currently admitted with severe HSV, mucocutaneous infection. She is going to be treated with IV Zovirax at a dose of 5 mg per kg per dose given Q8 hourly. The dosing for this drug is based on ideal body weight. Zovirax comes in 10 ml vials with a concentration of 50 mg per ml. Zovirax is an IV irritant, so to avoid extravasation, the final infusion solution must be diluted in normal saline to a concentration of 7 mg per ml. Our labs are going to be height 5'7", weight 180. And if you can put the generic for Zovirax in the chat, that would be much appreciated. What is the total daily dose for this patient? How much of the 50 mg per ml solution is needed to get each Q8 hourly dose? Finally, what is the minimum final volume of the infusion solution required to prepare each dose and administer Q8H to the patient? So once again, what is the generic for Zovirax? Put that in the chat, and then in a couple minutes I will start to break this down. You will have to do 3 different sets of calculations. All right, very good. So let us go to the explanation. All right, so first we're going to start with the ideal body weight equation. And this patient is female, so that's going to be 45.5 kilograms plus 2.3 times the number of inches over 5 feet in height. So the patient was 5'7", so we'll multiply by 7. And that will give us an answer of 61.6 kilograms. All right, next we need to know the total daily dose. And so we're going to take 61.6 kilograms. We're going to multiply this by 5 mg per kg per dose. And then you have to remember that there are 3 doses in the day. And so 61.6 times 5 will give us 308 milligrams. And then times 3 will give us 924 mg per day. All right. The next part of the question asks us how much of the 50 mg per mil stock solution we need. So we know that each Q8 dose is 308 mgs, and we're going to set that up over X, and we're going to do 50 mg over 1 mil. And this will give us 6.16 milliliters, which is about 6.2 mil. All right. And then last but not least, because we want the concentration not to go above 7 mg per mil, we'll do 308 milligrams over X, and we have 7 mg per mil, and that will give us 44 milliliters. So the correct answer choice is E. I'm going to reshare this problem so we can just look at it. Wad, you chose the correct answer if we were just talking about the Q8 dose. You had to multiply 308 by 3 to get the total daily dose. Good job, though. Good job. Good job. All right, if anyone needs more time, let me know. Otherwise, I'd like to go back to the question so we can just do that. Okay. So let's go back to the question. So once again, the question is on the screen, and you are looking for the total daily dose, how much of the 50 mg per mil solution for each Q8 dose, and then what is the minimum final volume of the infusion solution. I know this was a bit of an impromptu session. Remember, this is a time for you to learn and make mistakes and get things wrong. So when you take the Naplex, you are prepared. You're right, and looking forward to getting back into the normal routine. All right. So next slide's going to have 3 questions, but they're shorter. We will go through each one, and then we will end. So the first question is going to be how many milligrams of a medication will it take to create a 1500 milliliter product at a concentration of 1 in 10,000. So let's all focus on that problem first. Once again, how many milligrams of a medication will it take to create a 1500 milliliter product at a concentration of 1 in 10,000? So I'm going to stop sharing and we'll go to paint. All right, already starting to see an answer. Just for your planning, these are the last three questions. All right, so we have 1 in 1 in 10,000 is going to equal 1 gram per 10,000 ml. This is going to give us 0.01%, and it's also going to give us or 0.1 mg per milliliter. And so because we need 1500 milliliters of total volume, we will do 1500 milliliters times 0.1 mg per mil, and our milliliters will cancel out, giving us 150 milligrams. Sorry, I wanted to switch that back to blue. All right, so let's see. Going to the chat. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct answers. Great job, everyone. Great job. And this is called a weight by volume ratio. And I'm going to put that here, W/V. Okay, great job, everyone. Let's go back to practice question 6. And practice question 6 says, a physician writes for a dose of Tylenol 20 grains twice daily. What dose of acetaminophen is this? So once again, 20 grains twice daily. This is purely a math question. I don't know anyone who writes in grains. So go ahead and take a look, do the math, and let's see. Got some answers coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and switch screens. Okay, so we have, for grains, it's good to know that 1 grain is equal to 64.8 milligrams or 65. And So if we have 20 grains twice daily, we'll do 20 times 65 times 2, and this will give us 2,600 milligrams total, or 1,300 milligrams BID, if that's what you wrote. Great job. Great job. I have 4 right answers, and just make sure that you read what the question. The Naplex can be tricky, and they can ask you for one dose or daily dose. So just be aware of that. Okay? Anyone have any questions or concerns so far? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the next question up, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. So, practice question 7. The prescription for eye drops calls for 2 drops in the left eye twice daily. Given the following choices of package size, how many milliliters should be dispensed to get at least a month's supply while minimizing excess? So 2 drops in one eye twice daily, the left eye, and we want to dispense at least a month's supply. Hope everyone has what they need. I'm going to go. Oh, and the answer choices A, B, C, and D are 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10 ml. Go ahead and stop sharing. We'll do the paint. All right, very good. Give you a couple more minutes for everyone to choose an answer. Tara asks, what is the dose for acetaminophen? I know the solution is 160 mg per 5 ml. I believe acetaminophen is available in 325, 650, and I also believe it's available in 500 and 1000. Go ahead and make a note and review it after the session, and that'll help you remember it the best. All right, so let's break down this problem. We have two drops BID, which is going to give us 4 drops daily. The instructions call for 30 days, so that's going to give us 120 drops. Now, most eye drops are 0.05 ml. And so after we do this multiplication, we'll get 6 milliliters. Now, 6 milliliters falls between choice B and C, and because 5 ml would be too short, we would choose answer choice C, 7.5 ml. Okay, so I see a couple students got C correct. Good job. Good job. Now is the time if you have questions or concerns. Genesis says can you also use the conversion of 1 mil to 20 drops? I think that is excellent. Also, Suspicious Bunch is sharing the guidelines for acetaminophen. They are important. Yes, great job, Genesis. While people are typing their questions, in the guides and the resources for the PharmaPrep, Suspicious Bunch has shared an excellent guide for HIV, and make sure you go and review that. Pharma Turtles has videos that you can also see, and make sure you use that. If you have taken the Naplex or if you have taken an assessment and you want to discuss that report with me, you can send me a DM and I'd be happy to review that for you. Does anyone have any other questions or concerns today? You're welcome, everyone. Wad, thank you for the solution and suspension. Please do not forget to fill the survey. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Anything we can do to improve? Happy to help. Once again, shout out to Suspicious Bunch and Pharma Turtles for setting this up. I'm happy to be here. All right, you're welcome, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.